Hello, welcome YouTubers and Doctor Who fanatics. Yes, we are back at the DVD shelf once again, which means the DVD collection series. So let's get straight to it. I'll be reviewing Peter Davison, 5th Doctor Era. Castrovalva, the introduction of the 5th Doctor and his debut. Now, is it a good regeneration for the 5th Doctor? Yes, it is, but as a story, a big fat no. Yeah, I only like episode 1 of this, and the rest I think it's crap in my opinion. I just like the 5th Doctor, how he's getting used to his regeneration, which I really like, where he mimics other Doctors and mentions companions, past companions, which I like. Also, we see more interior of the TARDIS, but episode 1 has nothing to do with the plot. But then Castrovalva turns crap when they go to Castrovalva, and that's not very good since the title is Castrovalva. Yeah, I don't like the costume designs as well. I think they look very silly in my opinion, and don't remember the characters being that great. Rather bland story, but episode 1 I love episode 1, but the rest it's just garbage in my opinion. Fall to Doomsday, which was actually the 5th Doctor's first story filmed first. Oddly enough, I don't know why, but it's probably explained on this DVD of why they made that decision. Let's get that glare off. This one's actually not bad. I don't despise it as some people do. I wouldn't call it a guilty pleasure because I don't love it. Stratford Jones, I believe his name is the Monarch, is pretty good. He rather just sits on his chair moaning at everything. But yeah, he makes his ultimate move near the end, while it's a little bit of an anti-climax and rushed in my opinion. And the direction, it's very poor. And the 5th Doctor's performance isn't too great because it was his first time, so he may be a bit nervous as the role, since he was a lot better as the role in Castrovalva since this was his first story recorded, but yeah, not bad. I like the background though, it's quite nice. Kinder, a loved, praised 5th Doctor's story. By me? No, sadly it isn't. Yeah, Kinder is a very psychedelic story. I personally don't like the word weird. It's too weird for me, this story, and I just don't see enjoyment in it too much, to be honest. Features the Mara, which is featured in 2 other stories, with Snakedance and a Cradle of the Snake, a Big Finish audio, which I'm not really fond of getting, since I'm just not connected to any of the Mara stories. Yeah, it's too psychedelic for me, I just don't really see any enjoyment in it. I don't really like the characters. They perform the roles really well, but I'm just not clean to their characters, as people say. But 5th Doctor does good performance in it. All the performances stand out brilliant, but for a story, it's just not my type, really. So, if I liked psychedelic stories, I probably would love this, but it's just not my cup of tea, if I'm honest. The Visitation. Another quite loved one. I think some people find it overrated, but actually, it's quite a good one, actually. I did enjoy this one. The monsters are very good, actually. I forgot what they're called, but they begin with T. I like the one with the half-burned face, a nice attention to detail. Also with the Grim Reaper as the robot, which I really like. Yeah, it's about the Black Plague, or the Black Death, that's what it's called. Yeah, it's a very nice historical story with an alien twist to it. Also explains a massive time in history, which I would not say, even though the original edition of the DVD gave it away. So I think most people will know anyway, but yeah, it explains a big history moment. Black Orchids, the 2-parter. Actually, this one's really underrated. I really enjoyed this one. I absolutely loved this one. I thought it was a nice romp, and it really does suit the 5th Doctor so well, absolutely. Yeah, I like the Harlequin clown as well. People getting strangled, very similar to like Robots of Death on the lower budget, if you can call it like that. Yeah, this is like set in the roaring 20s sort of time, so everyone's just having a load of fun. It's a really good story, it is. I really enjoyed that one. If you have time to watch something quick, watch this one, because it's probably my favourite 2-parter Doctor Who story, actually. Earthshock, the massive shock of the Cybermen to return, even though they're on a front cover. That's a bit of a downer, isn't it? Yes, the Cybermen, that long ago it was. God, a very long time ago, but I think the best end to them was the invasion all the way to this. And yeah, it is a good one. It's not my favourite Cyberman story ever, but it's really good. The Cyber Leader has too much emotions in my opinion, so yeah, but he's very good, full of action, full of enjoyment, and it's a very good story. It's a very popular one, so a lot of people do like it. It is a little overrated, but it's still, it's good fun, it is. But one of the more darker stories. Time Flight, or a lot of people too, time waster, because they wasted so much time watching this crap. They are never going to watch it again, and the cover art, I don't know who made it, but don't make cover arts anymore, it's like made in paint. But anyway, Time Flight, was it a time waster for me? 2 years ago it was. When I watched it again, it's a guilty pleasure. As simple as this. I liked how bad it was. I just found so much enjoyment out of it. But the Fifth Doctor, it does like he gives no crap at all that Adric died. For me, it's a really enjoyable story. I just see enjoyment out of it. For many, they might be cursing of what I'm saying, but I'm just going to move on anyhow. Arc of Infinity. Ooh, blimey, hell, this is absolutely god-awful. Now we come to an absolutely terrible Fifth Doctor story. Yes, I think Time Flight is better than this from the Tegan Tales box set, or whatever that box set's called. And it is Return of Omega, and I don't know what he is like in this. He's too alien. Yes, he looks too alien, rather. In the Three Doctors, he was downright perfect. But in this, they lost the pot in it, absolutely. And the team didn't even want him back in the first place, so why bother? But yeah, Colin Baker as Commander Maxwell's in this, which is quite cool seeing the Fifth Doctor interact with him, but good story, one of the weakest. And now, saying psychedelic, this one is just the same as Kinder, and to be honest, after rewatching it, I don't like it. It's got more horror elements in it, which I quite like, while the snake is more of a cobra, which I quite like, more intimidating. But it's rather a Tegan story, and I'm not a Tegan fan whatsoever, but yeah, with Martin Clume's TV debut, which is quite cool, but good? No, not at all, really, in my opinion. It's changed quite dramatically, the Mara Tales. I just don't enjoy it. It's just not my type of stories. So that's a shame, really. I know people really enjoy them, but it's just not my cup of tea. Mawdryn Undead, which starts off the Black Guardian trilogy. Actually, this one's a really good story, actually. I really do enjoy this one. But really, the Black Guardian trilogy, I don't know really why they call it, because he's not really connected to any of the storylines. He's just there to end the Doctor's life, and that's pretty much it. It has this two timeline sort of thing with two brigadiers on it. But I do enjoy this one. It's a nice romp, and Turlo being condescending as ever, even more than Adric. It's actually, I do enjoy that one. It's probably my favourite out of the Black Guardian trilogy. It's enjoyable. It's quite, a lot of people say it's not great. Again, they don't understand it, but watch it carefully and you will. Terminus, or Terminal Boredom, as loads of people like to call it. Ooh, bloody hell, this is just an utter crap story. Actually, I would say it's got the Curse of the Heartnals. I quite liked episode 1, but then it just went absolutely diabolical. Yeah, it's a very edgy and depressing story, especially for Nyssa. As you know, it's her ending story, and nah, it's not great, and the costume design are absolutely terrible. The incidental music is absolutely crap, it is. Nah, this one, don't waste your time on this one. It's a boredom completely. And then we have Enlightenment. Did it enlighten me? It flippin' did not. The end of the Black Guardian trilogy, and I think this is one of the worst Doctor Who stories of all time. I really did not like this one whatsoever. I hated watching this one. I watched the standard edition 4-parter, and I hated it. Nothing memorable about it whatsoever. One of the least favourite Doctor Who stories for me personally. I find it absolutely terrible. Now, after all that abysmal mess of Enlightenment, we have the King's Demons, a nice 2-parter, I would say, with the creepy chameleon, that robot which never worked, and he was thrown in the cupboard for 5 episodes until the Planet of Fire. But yeah, King's Demons is a nice 2-parter, a nice romp, with the Master never getting explained why he got out of Time Flight, but they never usually do anyway. Yeah, it's, if you want to watch something quick, then put this on the TV. It's nice and enjoyable. Nothing more, nothing less. It's not really a well talked about Peter Davison's story, but it's nice. The Five Doctors, I think everyone should like this in some way, shape or form. It's just an absolutely enjoyable story, absolutely. It's just a load of fun, it is. You know, have all the Doctors back in action, well, sort of. Well, Tom Baker didn't want to be in it, so they used clips from Sharda. And, you know, William Hartnell sadly passed away, so he was replaced by Richard Herndale as the role. But yeah, it's a nice story. He has thrown everything in there, such as the Cybermen, Daleks, the Yeti, Brigadier, loads of companions. This is a nice, fun story. If you haven't watched it, then just check it out. It's just a load of fun. Warriors of the Deep. Absolutely a diabolical mess, this is. One of the worst things ever seen in my life, and God, this is just an absolutely crap story. The Silurians are terrible, acting like chickens. They don't really fight at all. And the Sea Devils is like slow motion fighting. It's just absolutely terribly directed. And I think I don't know who it's written by, but Johnny Bryan. It is well written, but it's just ruined by absolutely everything else. And yeah, it's really cheap now, this story. It's just absolutely abysmal. I don't like watching that one at all. Now with The Awakening, another two-parter, and not too much happening in this. We just find out some crazy people who are trying to react like some sort of history, I think. And they're being controlled from this fiend or monster in the church, and that's about it, really. But it's a nice run around, but anything, it's not that special of a story. But some nice acting, some nice roles, and it's a nice filming location as well, but not one of the bests. Frontios with the Tractators. Actually, this is an absolutely brilliant story. I really enjoyed this one. The Fifth Doctor is really getting into tone with his Doctor a lot more, and quite shouty as well, which I really like. Yeah, this is a very good Fifth Doctor story. I'm not sure if it'd be my favourite, but it's definitely up there. Like the Tractators, they might look too plastic. Well, they may look too plastic, sorry, but yeah, I would have been interested in the Hollows of Time, but, you know, season 23 got cut off. But yeah, very, very good monsters they are for an insect race. Yeah, I really like that one. It's kind of an edgy story, actually, of this colony getting destroyed by meteorites. Very good story, in my opinion. Resurrection of the Daleks, a higher death count than Terminator. Flippin' hell for a Doctor Who story. Actually, I think when I watched it more, I like it a bit more. Even though the story is complicated and it doesn't really go nowhere in some plots, but it is good. The Daleks do a lot of killing in this episode, which Daleks are supposed to do. And Terry Malloy is like used by the Daleks, which I hate, I do. It's a shame really, because I like Davros using his full potential of insanity. I just love it where he's just physically and mentally insane. But he is in this, but check out his big finishes if you want to see his insanity go to a higher level. But, you know, he's just usually just used as a Dalek tool, pretty much. Planet of Fire, the penultimate of the Davison Era, with we say goodbye to Turlo and that freaky chameleon. Another good one. I think it was filmed in Lanzarote, I believe, but very nice filming location and characters. Yeah, this is another good one. I did enjoy this one as well. Again, Peter Davison being very good as the role as the Doctor. I think he gets better as the Doctor when you reach probably Frontios. I think his acting is just superb then afterwards, but rather his early ones, I just didn't suit his Doctor. But yeah, a very good story. I do like that one with Perry in that story as well introduced. Then we have the almighty story in a lot of people's eyes, the Caves of Androzani, which is, yeah, a good story again. I do enjoy this one. Look at Peter Davison looking serious on the cover, and yeah, this is where Peter Davison's Doctor shows courage, determination, and he would save someone's life, even though only met her for at least about Planet Fire, and that's it. Even though, chronologically, there's more stories before and after that in the BBC book line and Big Finish and onwards, but actually, it's just a brilliant story. Not my favourite Peter Davison story ever, but still a good one nonetheless. And there we go, with the Fifth Doctor era, and yeah, as you can tell, there are some granddaddy stories in the Davison era, but still some absolutely terrible ones, absolutely. But yes, thank you very much for watching my overview of the Fifth Doctor, and after my break, I'll be taking a look at the Colin Baker era. So stay tuned for that. And of course, have a good one.